such a strange affair. Walking around, coming to the sound, forget you down, feel the air, beautiful affair. There comes a time when you look around and you see the ocean rise before your eyes, showing no surprise. So you make your way down to the shore and you climb on board and give yourself a smile. It makes you feel alive. See all the doors swing open, your life's unfolding before your very eyes. Such a strange affair. Walking around, coming to the sound, forget you down, feel the air, beautiful affair. La 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 unfolding before your very eyes. Such a strange affair. Walking around, coming to the sound, forget you down, feel the air, beautiful affair. See all the doors swing open, your life's unfolding before your very eyes. Such a strange affair. Walking around, coming to the sound, forget you down, feel the air, beautiful affair. La 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 la
Listening to What Matters on Radio Castle Dermot with John Phelan. Listening to What Matters on Radio Castle Dermot with John Phelan.
Good evening, and you're all very welcome to another What Matters here on Radio Castle Dermot. And this evening I'm delighted to be joined here on my left-hand side by Paul Flinter and his good wife Trish. And Paul is what I'd refer to as definitely a living legend, and I hope that by the end of the show that you all agree with me as well. May 2022, Paul suffered a severe stroke, and which has changed his life and Trish's life completely. And I'm going to have a chat with him this evening. We're going to have a chat to Paul about what life was like before he had the stroke, what life has been like since he had the stroke, and then the work that both him and Trish are doing to get the awareness of the condition that Paul has, which is aphasia. And what it is, Trish will explain to us what aphasia is, and what they are doing and what they hope to do, and the great work, the people they've met, the people they've made contact with. And it's a great story, and I hope you all stay with us and listen in. So you're very welcome, the two of you, into Radio Castledermot.
Thanks, John. Thanks for having us.
Thanks, John.
No bother at all. Paul, I'm going to start with you.
Yeah, no problem.
And the man of the moment. And Paul, maybe we might start with, and you might tell us, what was life like for Paul Flinter before you had a stroke?
Just before the stroke, I was an engineer for Intel, both here, and I've been to America, Singapore, whole lot of places, and it was great life. I don't know what to say. I don't know.
Yeah. So life was, you were normal. You were an engineer. You had a good life. You were travelling around. You were based here in Leixlip.
Yeah.
And then you travelled to a number of different outlets. No different than a lot of people, engineers within Intel. Like, it's a great company to work for, and there's great packages in there, and they really looked after their staff.
Oh yeah.
And then May 2022, everything changed for you.
Oh, yeah. You could say that. I went up to bed because I start work at 5 o'clock in the morning, so it's and by 9:45 I had to make lights to get Trish. See, could she come up to me, see me? I thought I was doing what I was doing, but something was wrong.
Right. Yeah.
And
Nothing was happening. So you knew that you knew what you were trying to do, but you knew it wasn't happening, even though you were doing the normal stuff as you would normally would, as you were doing it. So you knew something wasn't right.
Yeah. Luckily, my body came back to itself when they were trying to bring down the ambulance, and on the drive down to Kilkenny, I had a good chat with the person, but as soon as the ambulance, I was shut. I was nothing.
You don't remember anything else after that?
Something shut me down.
Yes. Yeah.
And the doctors and that said he probably will be dead by the morning. We don't know. And luckily, I think it was 2 weeks later, I woke up.
Right.
But I don't remember anything for 6 months, say.
Right. Yeah.
What Trish will tell you better about things.
What actually happened in that period?
Yeah.
All right, Trish. So over to you. So, like, it was just like any other normal evening. Paul up to bed early because he'd up early to go to work, and then you just heard him calling out to you.
Yeah, so we'd actually been away for a night away the night before, came home, got a takeaway, and it was grand. And like I said, Paul went up to bed early because he got up so early. And I came back downstairs, and immediately on coming downstairs, I heard a kind of a rustling upstairs. And I was like, what's going on? Because he was in bed at that stage. But you just know, do you know when you know something is not right? So anyway, I went up, and Paul was sitting up at on the side of the bed at the time, and I mean, his face was drooped, his speech was slurred, and he had no feeling in the right side of his body. But he was with it, you know, and I could understand what he was saying to me. And clearly it was a stroke when I rang the ambulance, and it was supposed to be there in 20 minutes, and there was no sign of the ambulance. We waited an hour and a half for the ambulance. Eventually it came. By the time the ambulance arrived, Paul had regained the use in his right leg. So he was able to walk down the stairs with the guys from the ambulance, weren't you? And get into the ambulance and have a chat and a whole lot. But he had a massive bleed on his brain on the way down to St. Luke's Hospital.
Right.
So I followed down because I honestly thought, yeah, it's a stroke, but look, the use was coming back in his legs. So, but when I got down there, the bleed was so extensive that they couldn't do anything. They couldn't operate. They had done a brain scan, and there was so much blood on one side of his brain that they couldn't see even how much damage was done. There was no point sending him to Beaumont. There was literally nothing they could do for him. And I think it was at that point they kind of said to me that you know, they were sending him up to the stroke ward just to make him comfortable. But I always say they sent him up to die, not to live.
Yes.
But I mean, there was no hope, and he wasn't expected to survive 24 hours. And then if he survived 24 hours, you know, he had to get to 48 hours, and that was ongoing for maybe 3 or 4 days until he started to show some kind of response. Paul doesn't remember, you know, showing a response or whatever, but he would have opened his eyes at one stage. And actually, I'll tell you a funny story as well. Paul's brother Aidan, we happened to be down together overnight because everyone, family and all, was staying over, whatever, you know, 24/7. And I used to annoy Paul like more than I normally do, but I used to walk by and he used to go boop on his nose like this. There was a thing.
Yeah.
Somebody, please, me.
But I remember after the second, I can't remember, it was Wednesday night when he had a stroke, Thursday, Friday, into the early hours of Friday morning, 5 o'clock, myself and Aidan were with them at the bed, and he pulled himself over and hit me on the nose. And I knew that he was still in there.
Yes.
And like it was like winning the lotto, because there was some that kind of a reaction, and it was just something me and him knew between us. Do you know? So we were delighted. I mean, it was great. It was like winning the lotto.
Yeah. So that was a sign to you.
That was. I knew he was there
he
then.
He was in there.
I knew he was there. Yeah. No, but it took a long time for him to come back, but the hope was there. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
So yeah.
And so that was May, and just from chatting with you, it was October before Paul has any memory of what happened. But in that period, from May, he did have, you know, extensive therapy and everything to try to get whatever they could rescue, I suppose, for the want of a better word, back. And try to get use into his limbs, I suppose, was the main thing. Yeah.
So while he was in the stroke ward in Kilkenny, and can I just recommend the ladies down there, the team down there, and they were in the old stroke ward, and the work that they done was unbelievable under the conditions that they had to work in.
Yes.
And they're to be recommended. They were amazing. So he would have received like physio, OT, and speech and language therapy every day. Once he was able to get out of bed. Now, Paul couldn't get out of bed for, I'd say it was about 12 weeks. Yeah. Like he would have had to be hoisted in and out. Yeah. And then he would have had to be like not a regular chair, like there's the big special chairs.
Yes, yeah.
I think the first day they lifted him out, he was only able to sit up for a minute, and then he was exhausted. He had to go back in, and then it was 2 minutes, and that kind of thing was going on first, and then he kind of transferred to like an orthopedic chair, and like even the day that I went down and he was in like the regular chair, I mean, it doesn't seem like a lot. We take so much for granted.
Yes.
To be able to sit in a chair and to be able to sit there for longer than 5 minutes. It was just amazing, wasn't it, Paul?
Oh, definitely.
And I think we've always celebrated the small things. We've always celebrated them as a huge win from day one,
Yes, yeah. And I suppose everything like that, every small step
is huge.
Is massive.
It's massive. And we still do. We still celebrate the small things, you know what I mean, whatever it may be. But so he would have been receiving the treatment he needed when he was down there.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, there's a huge gap between when you're in an acute setting and when you're set home and you're waiting and waiting and waiting to be sent to. Paul was registered with the NRH, National Rehabilitation Hospital in Dunleary. So in the interim, like there was nothing. And it's so important to continue the rehabilitation and breaks. And we're not unique in this. Everybody in our group they all experience the same thing. It's the system. It's broken.
Yes, yeah.
System is broken.
Yeah. And so he was in Kilkenny for a number of months?
He was in Kilkenny for 3 months.
3 months. And then came home?
Well, he was sent to a place in Carlow, rehabilitation.
All right, yeah.
For how many weeks were you there, Paul? About 6, 8?
And the first time it was 1 week. We think it was 1 week.
Right.
Because they had to go back down to Kilkenny because I had COVID.
All right, yeah.
So it was almost 2 weeks, and then went back to the hospital in Carlow.
Right.
That was a very tough time on him mentally.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Because we didn't know why Paul wasn't speaking. We didn't know he had aphasia, right? And he was completely paralysed on his right-hand side. He could transfer from chair to wheelchair, like 1 or 2 steps, but that
was it.
As much movement and no movement in his. But because, he couldn't speak, like it was a massive challenge, and it was very, very mentally. It was very hard on him, and I actually don't know how he survived that. On top of everything else he was trying to deal with at the time. That was hell for you.
Yeah, but we had a good leaving there.
There's a story. I don't think he can tell it on radio, but anyway.
All right.
There's many stories we can't tell on radio.
Yes.
Can on this show?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Well, we may have done a circle of the hospital with the radio blaring with Paul giving it a very inappropriate reverse peace sign, let's say.
All right.
With his good hand, the one that works.
Very good, very good. And like you said then, at that time, like Paul had no speech. So his communication, which it was really through his eyes and the movement of the head, and which, like you say, that must have been very frustrating, because I'm sure you knew what you wanted to say, Paul. You knew what you wanted to get across.
Yeah.
So moving on from that, and you mentioned aphasia. When did you realise that you had aphasia, or when did that diagnosis come along?
For me, it's nearly 2 years before I could say aphasia. Was but Trish, you be able to explain better than what I could say.
Right. Yeah.
The gift of the gab.
Yeah.
That's his podcast, by the way. We just throw it in there.
Yeah. So he got diagnosed, Trish, with aphasia.
It was really when he went to the NRH that
Right.
we heard the word aphasia, really for the first time.
Heard
and
it. Never mind nothing else. It's the first time you actually heard
heard
the
it.
word.
We hadn't a clue what it was.
Yeah.
Nobody had heard of it. Like, obviously, people can relate to a stroke.
Yes.
You know, nationwide, worldwide, everyone can recognise or know what a stroke is. But I'd never heard of anybody with aphasia, neither had you, Paul, and we'd
No.
never met anybody with aphasia. And it's not to be confused with, often people after a stroke might find it difficult to speak for a period of time. That's not aphasia. It's kind of it's par for the course after a stroke.
Yeah.
Some people do, some people don't, you know.
Yes.
So aphasia is a comprehension disorder caused by a traumatic brain injury. So it can be any kind of a brain injury, be it an accident, brain tumour, but most often by a stroke. There are 7,500 people in Ireland every year diagnosed or that suffer a stroke, and 1/3 of those are diagnosed with aphasia.
Right.
I just made a point recently at a meeting we were at that I done a show of hands. I said, could people that were familiar with, say, Parkinson's disease put up a show of hand? It was actually at the documentary, and everybody put up their hand. And I said, who had heard of aphasia prior to coming here tonight? And I'd say 10 people, and they were all in the profession that would deal with it.
Yes.
But would you, like, I mean, what people don't realise is currently in Ireland it's estimated that there are up to 18,000 people diagnosed with Parkinson's and up to 50,000 people diagnosed with aphasia. And it's almost unheard of,
Yeah.
you know.
Well,
And
I have
that's-
to say, I hadn't heard of it
Yeah.
until I came across you.
Yeah.
And I'd say there's a lot of our listeners are probably the same. And Tommy has a thing up on the screen there in a minute, you know, just explaining what aphasia is, but you've just gone through that, which is brilliant.
Yeah.
So then you now know then what's affecting Paul, and so in Dunleary they presumably then they started whatever treatment they could do to help.
Yeah, so like it's a combined treatment. I mean, they were working his physio for his movement, occupational therapy as well, and speech every day. Like it was fantastic. What was I going to say to you? You made great improvements in the NRH
Yeah.
because, well, that's their
That's their job,
that's their thing,
and you're getting it every day.
exactly, and you need it every day.
You need it every day, yeah. You know, because and like that then you saw what we talked about earlier, all the small steps,
Yeah,
you know, and the small rewards that you were getting,
yeah,
which were huge.
yeah,
And but the difference being, you know, because you're there and because the amazing work that they do up there.
oh, they do fantastic work. Yeah.
Yeah.
And how long then were you in the NRH?
2 months. 2 months, I think.
Right. And so that's where were we then? Timeline? Are we?
Be after Christmas, 2 weeks after Christmas.
Yeah, you came home in January. Yeah.
Right.
Cannot remember.
Yeah. So
Date,
we're into January 23.
Yeah.
At that stage, and so then when you got back home, what was it like? Like presumably, home life had changed completely.
Yeah, definitely, because luckily Trish, we tried to get some money from to convert the toilet downstairs and things like that. But because we maybe better explain that as well.
Yeah, so there was, while Paul was up in the NRH, I managed to get a downstairs bathroom built on, an accessible bathroom, because there was no downstairs toilet. Initially, when Paul came home from the second place in Carlow, until he went to Dunleary in November. So you were home from August to November at home.
Right.
So it was a case of washing them at the kitchen sink. It was great crack.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And but it was hard work as well. Do you know what I mean? And it was dangerous in case he'd fall or slip or anything like that.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we managed, and we got
that's
in
what we did.
a stair lift and things like that. But what you were trying to say is there were no grants available to us because
No.
we'd both been working.
Right.
So you just had to kind of get out
Pa-
there.
paddle your own boat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But and this is not a sob story now. This is
No,
just
no,
the
yeah,
reality.
yeah, yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, definitely, yeah.
Yeah. So then when he was in the NRH, then I managed to get the accessible bathroom built on and all that. So when he came home, at least you could have a proper shower and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. But then services stopped when he came. No, sorry, he was registered, say, with our local primary centre in Carlow, and he got 6 weeks speech therapy. I think he got 6 weeks physio. You didn't get any OT. There was no occupational therapy
Right.
available. But that's it. It's 6 weeks, regardless of the severity of your speech disorder. Some people maybe it mightn't be as acute, and others it is, and they need more. So it's not you're not measured on how much you need. It's you
Right,
have this
you-
amount,
Yes.
and that's it.
It's
and
6 weeks and that's it.
6
and if
weeks.
You didn't matter what progress you made in that 6
That's
weeks.
it. Yes. Yeah.
6 weeks and finished.
Yeah.
Like Trish, she gave up her job to become my keeper,
Carer. Yeah,
carer. But they expected that Trish is able to do everything, like things like how do you wash yourself, everything they expect is just on her hands.
Yeah.
But you were in grey hands, though.
Yeah.
No,
God help him is all I could say. Wasn't he blessed?
Wasn't he blessed? Wasn't he
Blessed.
blessed? That's it.
Yeah,
That's it. So we'll just move on.
Yeah.
We'll just move on from that. And so the help that you were getting was after the 6 weeks. Then was very minimal. You were basically left to your own devices, and you were learning about aphasia as you went.
Yeah.
You were educating yourselves.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then Paul came up with the idea of setting up a group.
Yeah.
Now this was probably not straight away. Like we're probably 2 years down the
2
road.
years, yeah.
And maybe Paul, just tell us a bit how you came to the point that you said you want to set up this group to help you, but also to help others.
Yeah. Like me and Trish sitting around the table at home and trying how I'm going to get help that is required, and there was nothing. And luckily, as you said, talking heads came life. Luckily we were in a lovely building, and for people with aphasia, that they can go and feel safe, because like most of people lovely to have you would stay quiet and be quiet. But for me, that would not work.
Yeah.
So, like, the place and everything it suited us, the group. One of the pictures they were showing was there 4 of us. We were the first group in Ireland, the world. I might as well just say it. And we've grown from 3 members to 15 now, and it's great.
Brilliant. So the group is called Talking Heads, and it's the first peer set up group in Ireland, and probably the first peer set up group in the world. I'm going to talk to Trish and Paul a little bit more about the group and that. But we're going to take a little break for a song, and of course our question on what matters. And so our show is, as always, sponsored by O'Gorman Meats. And our
O'Gorman Meats, your local winning butchers, serving the local community for generations, and proud to sponsor Radio Castle Dermot.
Okay, so the question tonight is a quite simple question, and of course, if you have been listening, and it is, what is the group that Paul and Trish set up called? Plain and simple. Get your text answers in by text or WhatsApp to my phone 087 226 5103. So we'll just take a quick break for a song, and we'll be right back to you.
You're listening to What Matters on Radio Castle Dermot with John Phelan.
Okay, so thanks a million to everybody for staying tuned in, and a big shout out to all our listeners on Twitch and also all our listeners on Facebook. And I have to say a big hello to Paul's mum Anne, who's listening in. So how are you, Anne? And you did a great job with your son rearing him, so fair play to you.
I give you the money when you take out.
There you go now. Just your question again there. Get them in, answers in by text or WhatsApp to my number, which is up on the screen there, 087 226 5103. And it is, what's the group called that Paul and Trish set up in Carlow? So what's the group called? So you set up the group, and like you said, Paul, you started off with 2 members, and that's just grown and growing. And you meet every second Friday.
Yeah.
And it's a great place, like you just said before we took the break, it's a great place for people to come to feel safe, and that they can talk about what they want to talk about.
Yeah.
And they can be themselves. And they don't have to worry about what other people are doing, what other people are saying, or anything else. It's your group for whatever you want to do. It's not about
exactly.
the size of it.
Like we are trying to speech and language person to come in and help us, because some of the members, they got none.
Right, yeah.
And it would be great for us try to improve. Like I think both of us, myself and Trish, have seen the people grow. But in 1 year, it's great. Some people couldn't talk starting, and now they can say something small.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
brilliant.
It's brilliant.
Yeah. And whereabouts do you meet?
Let the boss.
Let the boss jump in here.
We're actually just moving premises this week because we were on Barrack Street and that building has been sold. So our meetings are going to take place in the Cathedral Parish Centre in Carlow now, every second Friday from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m.
All right.
And so we had a lovely little cabin that was provided, and I just want to also acknowledge a few people that helped us get there, if that's okay.
Yeah.
So we'd like to just acknowledge Acquired Brain Injury Ireland, and in particular Paul's community rehabilitation assistant, Anna Henneberry, who helped us so much initially, because Paul was saying earlier, we were sitting at the kitchen table for a long. Paul wanted to set up this group, but we didn't really know how to go about it, so she pointed us in the right direction, gave us all the contacts we needed. And Carlow County Development Partnership, they came on board with us from day one, and we're eternally grateful to them. They've been a brilliant support to the group,
Yes.
And also Joe Butler, he would have provided the space in the cabin to us. So we're eternally grateful to Joe. And we're really sad we have to move, but look, that's life.
That's life, yeah.
And we're lucky we have somewhere to go to. So,
Yes.
That's great.
Yeah. And so people with aphasia can get in touch with you and come and join the group. And I suppose it's great that you can actually see then the improvement and this is without any professional speech therapy and all that. This is just from being 2 hours a fortnight in a group with their own peers, in effect.
Exactly, because they're not conscious. And it doesn't matter if it takes somebody an hour, 20 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever it takes for that. Each person gets their own time to speak, mostly. Now, depending on the crack.
Yeah.
But like Paul was saying there, we've noticed that a few of the group members had very, very, very little words when they came in, and they're able to string sentences together now. And it's Like if you don't use it, you lose it, won't you?
That's it.
So,
yeah.
but also, I think it's important to point out as well about aphasia is how it affects people differently. Like some people, predominantly speech, right? But some people can speak fairly clearly, but they can't read. We have one member who can read, but he can't spell. Now, to me or you'd be like, sure, how can you read if you can't spell?
Yes.
But he can't spell, but he can read perfectly. And his speech is not too bad. But then another very important thing, and I think this is very important, Paul, isn't it, for us, for the group, is it's a very isolating condition.
Yeah.
And you even found that, didn't you?
Yeah. Even to walk into the shop, they always forget about me.
Yes.
Like if me and Trish walk into a shop, straight away they go for her. And it makes me angry, I think that. Like, yes, I have aphasia. I can talk a little bit now. If you wait a minute longer, I'll probably, hopefully, say to you what I'm trying to get. So all it takes is a small, longer time.
Yeah, so like if people need to have patience.
Yeah.
And they need to understand, give you time, or somebody like you, somebody with aphasia, time to get your point across.
Yeah.
You're still a person, and you still have the right to say what you want to say.
Yeah.
And I can really understand like what you're saying, that it's can be so isolating.
Yeah.
And also, it's also very important to point out it doesn't affect a person's intelligence.
Generally.
Right?
Yes.
People automatically assume because they sound differently, and maybe they can't get the same words out to describe what they would have had previously, that they're some way intellectually disabled. They're not. Everything is there. The lads described it to me. Now, I don't have aphasia, like it's easy for me, I'm on the outside looking in. But it's like having to learn your own language again. But then there's apraxia, which is the disconnection between what's going on in the brain and getting the words out through your mouth. And I think every one of you in the group have both. They have aphasia, which is trying to remember the words, and then apraxia is trying to say the words.
Right.
So you're a double whammy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but no, intellect is still there. And I get very frustrated, and I don't have aphasia,
Yes.
So I know in the beginning when you had less words, like your speech is really good now.
Yeah.
But people just completely ignore him.
Yeah.
So what I used to do was, Paul would ask a question, and then they'd panic. But then some people, they don't mean to do it. It's just a reaction. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah.
And they'd look at me. So I would just divert my gaze to Paul, and then they'd have to look at him. And then I just found that was the simplest way.
Yes.
Just look at him, and I'd
yeah.
stay looking at him adoringly, and then I'd have to
staring into his eyes.
Oh yeah.
And so last April, you did a documentary in the visual in Carlow called Unspoken Words.
Yeah.
Maybe you might tell us a little bit about Unspoken Words, where the idea came from and how it all went.
I suppose because it was, maybe you talking, I'll step in.
Yeah, you jump in whenever you want. Okay, so we very early on after setting up the group, Paul started to attend an online group through UCC.
Yeah.
What was it, Aphasia Cafe, is it?
Yeah.
Dr. Helen Kelly. And not everyone with a brain injury can access IT and things like that.
Yeah.
I'd say the fact that it was Paul's job, it kind of came more naturally to him, say, than others, right?
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe how much Paul's speech improved by attending these online Zooms once every, was it every Friday
2
morning?
weeks.
2 weeks?
2 weeks.
Yeah. And I think that's where you got the idea of
Yeah.
setting up a group for people with aphasia. But obviously, because he's living with it, he realised that not everybody would be able to access online. So he wanted an in-person group set up. So that's where the whole idea of it came from. I know I'm kind of digressing a bit now, but... So, yeah, we were in the group, and it was through acquired brain injury as well. We heard of, they have a different group in Kilkenny for people with an acquired brain injury, not aphasia, and they had made a documentary. And they said, we said, geez, that'd be great.
Yeah.
It could make maybe, 15, 20 minutes or something like that. And there's a fantastic filmmaker and editor called Gillian Grattan from Thomastown. Now, she's a dog butcher. Look, we all have our crosses. But yeah, so they put us in touch with Gillian, and she came up, and it actually ended up being an hour and a half long documentary, and it shows it's all the group members, how they're affected by how their lives were turned upside down, and family members. And it was amazing. We screened it in the visual in April, and we had 260 something people. We were blown away. We weren't expecting that response now. And the whole idea of it was to create awareness of aphasia and the lived experience of aphasia, because I don't know, we've kind of taken on a battle.
Yes. And you've now also gone with the... Can you hear me there? Oh, we're okay, we're back. You've also gone with that elsewhere, have you? Are you gone talking about it elsewhere as well as individual?
Yeah. Instead, we shut the video down to 30 minutes for the TDs, and unfortunately the film was not working.
Right.
Yeah, we brought it up to the Doyle. We were in the AV rooms in the Doyle a few weeks ago, and we got it brought down to a 30-minute segment, but unfortunately their speaker system wasn't working when we got up there.
All right.
So I don't know how effective that was.
Right.
The next day we were in the NRH. That was really positive, and through that we've actually met a lady up there. Her husband is in the NRH at the moment. He has aphasia from County Louth, and we're going to be liaising with her and setting up a group up there.
Brilliant.
Paul's friend Lisa, Chatterbox Aphasia, better give her a shout out. I think she's listening. She set up her own group, her and Larry, in Coolock. And we're talking to another lady down in Mullingar at the moment, advising her on how to go about setting up a group down there. So what we'd love to happen is that we'd have an aphasia group in every county in Ireland, just to deal with, and it's not just, it is the speech, but the social element of it.
Yes.
That's really important as well, you know.
Yeah. And to get, like you say, to take away the isolation.
Absolutely,
you know, which is really important, and to be with people who understand what's going on, and that'll help the people just maybe starting out on the journey. You know, to come out of themselves and to know that they are normal, like, you know, and there is help there, and there's people like you there,
and you're giving it just to get their confidence back. And sorry, Paul.
Like, it doesn't need to be special who is a person whose job was doing this.
Yes.
Like me and Trish, we never thought that. So if we can do it, so can they.
Yeah, very true, very true.
Yeah, I think the most important part is just meet up for a chat.
Yes.
In a secure place where you feel you're not being judged, there's no judgment, there's nothing, it's just a chat. Let's
Yeah,
just sit there and
yeah.
have a cup of tea and a chat. And it's amazing where it leads to. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And I suppose the point I want to talk about is, I suppose, funding and the lack of funding, and also, I suppose, the lack of speech therapy for adults in the country. And I think part of your trip to the Doyle was to bring awareness of this as well. And I know Tommy, if he hasn't already, because I haven't been watching the screen, but I know we have pictures of you up in the Doyle. And how do you feel that trip in the Doyle went as far as bringing awareness to the TDs and trying to get your point across? Like, do you think it's you've been successful, or there's probably a lot more work to go into it?
Yeah, we were a little bit disappointed, to be honest with you. I suppose, look, it's like we've nothing else to do. Now, we do have loads to do.
Yeah.
And we understand and appreciate that our local minister, or whatever TDs, have a lot of other things on. I really hope that they fulfill their promise to us to help create awareness of aphasia. It's very important. It's very important to both of us, isn't it, Paul?
Yeah, like it'd be great for us, well maybe, but put their hands up, all the TDs who know what aphasia is. I guarantee you, one or two people, all there. So it needs to be known by people, because otherwise we get nothing.
Yeah. Like, I suppose it is a vicious circle, because to get your funding, you have to get awareness.
Yeah.
And to get your awareness out there, you need we need our public representatives to actually speak up for you.
Exactly.
And in fairness, that's what they are. And your situation is as important as somebody else's situation looking for something else. And so hopefully, that your trip didn't go wasted, and that you have started the journey of the awareness.
Well, we're staying positive about it all. You know what I mean? It was a positive first step.
Yeah.
And I mean, even that in itself, it's like our local minister, who has been very good to us now, but she was even saying herself she'd never heard of it. When she was up in the Dáil, she asked them, nobody had heard of it. There was one minister there on the day, but he was a GP previously to becoming a minister, and he was quite knowledgeable about it. And I think maybe we need to get in contact with him and see maybe he could take it on. Well, not take it on, but definitely help us in promoting it, because we do need help. Because I mean, when you hear of all the publicity, and rightly so, that Parkinson's gets or MS gets, and collectively there's still more people diagnosed with aphasia than MS and Parkinson's collectively. But there's another point as well, in that there's no cure for aphasia. There's no magic pill, right? Speech and language therapists. There was an embargo on hiring speech and language therapists for the last 5 years in Ireland. That's only been lifted in January of 26. So there's a reason why there's no speech and language therapists. Currently in Carlow, we've no adult speech therapist. So this is we're fighting all the time and highlighting it and nagging, and I'm great at that.
Yeah.
So
Paul told me.
Yeah. Off air, eh? Too late.
And I know, Trish, you want to give a shout out to Castledermot Vintage Club.
Absolutely. They gave us a donation, I think it's 2 years ago now, and they don't realise how important that donation was to us at that time. We had €250 in the bank. We had a speech therapist available to do some online speech therapy with us, and we couldn't afford her. And their donation was enabled us to get some speech therapy for the group. So a massive, heartfelt thank you to Castledermot Vintage Club for their donation, because they really got us kind of on the road, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Apart from just having the tea and biscuits, we were able to actually get out and actually get speech therapy for the group, which is our main aim, you know what I mean?
Yes.
As well as everything else, but it's
Yes,
an
yeah.
important aim.
And
yeah.
I suppose, and this is just after popping into my head now, that like people like that giving donations is absolutely brilliant. But if there was any speech and language therapist out there,
Yeah.
and like you're not looking for money or anything off them, but if there was a speech and language therapist out there who could maybe give an hour of their time, you know, once a fortnight, would be absolutely massive to your group. You know, the difference that would make, even if it was an hour a month.
Oh
you
yeah,
know.
anything.
You know, so it's not always about you know, going out and shaking a bucket and that. Like, people can give and can give with their time.
Exactly.
And possibly as well, like there could be speech and language therapist students out there
Yeah.
who might be able to come along and help.
Yeah.
So that's just something that literally, as I'm sitting here, came into my mind. So you know, if there is anybody out there or know somebody like it, they could give a shout out too.
Yeah.
That would be absolutely amazing, yeah, and we'd be so grateful for any help, because like I said, it's a needle in a haystack now. So maybe there's some students listening that might need to do as part of their course,
Yeah.
you know, a project or whatever, and we'd be more than happy to be their project.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
lads would love it, wouldn't they?
Yeah, definitely.
Big-
And even the other, like Chatterbox and all them setting up, they will be delighted for people like those
Yeah.
go and help them.
Yeah, definitely. And there was has it gone off the screen? I know Sadie had said, she said there's a video you can watch of the group that you set up. I think that's a YouTube clip, is it?
Yeah,
Trish?
there's Unspoken Voices is the name of the documentary that we made, and now that's now on YouTube.
All right.
So you can
Yeah.
view it on YouTube. And there's also another clip that you were speaking to a guy in the States last week, weren't you?
Yeah, Jerry, I cannot remember.
Well, Sadie is just saying that there. She says, I was watching Paul talking to an American on Zoom
Yeah,
about Talking Heads last week, and Paul was absolutely brilliant. It moved on the screen there and I lost me. So it was absolute. Stop it, Tommy. Where are you gone on me?
anyway.
He was absolutely brilliant about bringing aphasia across, and he has a great sense of humour. And this was on Facebook. So Sadie is just saying that she saw you there,
Yeah.
and that was something that I was going to talk to you about as well, Paul. That the awareness that you brought to this, you know, and everybody thinks, oh, the Americans know everything, but like the guy you were talking to basically didn't really know anything about aphasia.
Himself at that, it was 10 years he had a stroke, and like they go on to he gets more people with, like himself and me, and he gets them into the video for him to
Put on his channel.
yeah.
All right, yeah.
But the guy that you were talking about there, they didn't know anything about it. It was 2 years ago. We were interviewed, remember? Went to an interview
Oh,
with
yeah.
a guy in Kilkenny, and he was blown away
Yeah.
by Paul setting up his own group, because that was unheard of. Setting up an actual group
Yes,
of people to
yeah.
meet for aphasia.
Yeah.
There may be some that have like online presence, but not actually in-person groups. That
Right.
they've never heard of it.
Yeah.
So he's famous.
Brilliant,
Yeah.
brilliant. Well, I did say at the start of the show that I was joined by a legend, and I think by the time we're coming close to the end of the show, I think all our listeners definitely would have to agree with that statement. Because Paul, I think you are just absolutely amazing, and I think to do what you're doing, like a lot of people could come along and just sit back and feel sorry for themselves. but not you. And I suppose your pre-stroke life sort of that was the Paul Flinter, but that Paul Flinter is still there.
Yeah.
You know, he's still there in a different way, but and you're using that to to bring this awareness out. And I have one last question for both of you to answer, so you can't pass this one away, Paul. And it is very simple. What does Talking Heads mean to you? You think about it, and we'll get Trish to answer it while you think about it.
No pressure. Talking Heads for me, I am so in awe of all the guys, and I want to give a shout out to all the guys in the group. It's not just about Paul, you know,
yes, yeah.
because they're all doing the same thing every day, you know, trying to survive. I'm privileged to be part of it. I really do. I mean that. And you know, they come in there into the group and they're always in good form. Like you say, they all have their own issues and they all have their own physical issues apart from the aphasia. They've all been through different things. Some of them, you know, are worse than others. I wouldn't say worse than others. Everybody's problem is as bad to them.
Yeah.
But there's all different levels of severities of their strokes and their injuries and all that kind of stuff. And I've said this in the documentary, I'm actually in awe of them. I don't know that I'd be able to do what they're doing, to be honest with you. And they're just amazing human beings. And I'm so glad that Paul himself never lay under this stroke. He was always determined. He was determined before his stroke. And I remember shortly after, when we were able to converse a little bit, we kind of said, this can't be it. No, there's more to life than this. This just can't be the end. You know, this, you're going to come home, you're going to sit in the corner, or, you know, the kind of way. But he'd never feel sorry for himself, and he doesn't wear it as a badge of honour. And it definitely doesn't define him, or it doesn't define any of the lads in the group. Talking Heads for me is like it's hope. Do you know, there's so much hope in that group.
Yep.
And there's so much inspiration, and I just feel very, very privileged to be part of it.
Brilliant. Paul.
The best thing that I can then, don't be afraid of us. It might because we can't talk so well, but give us a little time, and by Jesus, will you have good crack.
There you go. Absolutely amazing. So, inspiration. Don't be afraid of us, and we'll have great crack. That's what Talking Heads is about. Let's get the word out there. Let's spread the word about aphasia, about Talking Heads. We'll put a link to the to your YouTube clip on Unspoken Voices. We'll get Tommy to do that. And I think definitely, Paul, and if the people in your group, if they have 1/10 of what you have, I'd say it's absolutely an amazing group. So well done. Thanks a million for coming in. And before we go, folks, I just have to flick down through my phone to get all the answers, because I haven't had a chance to do it. So maybe, Fuzz, you might play a quick tune there, and I'll pull up all the names, and then we'll spin the wheel.
The love you give, I do believe. Your honey lips cannot deceive. In your embrace, we got to our favorite place, and we lay down not a care. The dawn is near.
Sometimes life can be so rough. Being dealt a hand is just so tough. When I hold you tight, my future's looking bright. There's nothing I won't try because of you. You get me through. It's just the two of us. Just the two of us. Waiting on the rising of the sun. It's just the two of us. Just the two of us. Waiting on the rising of the sun. There goes a shooting star, my dear. I make a wish till next year we'll be here. That we'll feel this love, our gift that's from above. That you'll move my world, let it be just you and me. It's just the two of us. Just the two of us. Waiting on the rising of the sun. It's just the two of us. Just the two of us. Waiting on the rising of the sun.
Okay, folks, thanks a million for staying tuned in there. And of course, the answer to the question was Talking Heads. And Fuzzy is going to give the wheel a spin. And let's see who comes out. Oh, holy God. And the winner is the meat is bought for the week, Mother. Kathleen Phelan is the winner. And thankfully I had nothing to do with that. I was sitting back here, Paul, wasn't I? Nothing to do with it. Folks, thanks a million for tuning in. And Paul and Trish, thank you for coming in and sharing your story. Absolutely brilliant, and thanks a million.
Thanks so much for having us, John. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, John. And Fuzzy
And Thomas.
And Tommy, yeah.
it's great.
Folks, as you all know, we're taking a break for the summer. So we'll be back in September with some more What Matters and some more great stories from the town and from the surrounding area. And really hope that Talking Heads keeps going in the direction that it's going, and that you do get the awareness and the funding out there. And definitely, if I hear of any students out there, I'll be giving you a shout. So thanks a million, folks, and I'll see you all back in September.
We got to our favorite place, and we lay down not a care. The dawn is near. Sometimes life can be so rough. Being dealt a hand is just so tough. When I hold you tight, my future's looking bright. There's nothing I won't try because of you. You get me through. It's just the two of us. Just the two of us. Waiting on the rising of the sun. It's just the two of us. Just the two of us. Waiting on the rising of the sun. There goes a shooting star, my dear. I make a wish till next year we'll be here. That we'll feel this love, prostitute.